Hi guys, my name's Dawn, and if it's your first time here, welcome to Lounge Bar Crime. So I did a video on the unveiling of NK, and there was just that much to her that I just couldn't fit it all in one video. So I've come back to do a part two. As you can see, so many more notes, but I mean some of them are ripped up because I just thought I can't fit it all in. But then I thought, no, I'm gonna try and get as much in the rest of it in this one. So if you haven't seen the first one, it's best to go and watch that but come back and watch part two. All right. So yeah, before I start, I'm just going to say everything that I'm going to say is alleged, or it's my opinion, or it's the opinion of others. I'm going to say what I think by the same rules. So yeah. Let's get into it. So if you've seen the first video, you know I think that they were seeing each other long before she said 6 weeks. And here's another reason that I think that as well. Watch this and just listen.
I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like right around Father's Day too. So whenever that is that in June? Yeah. So
I'm not good with holidays.
he told me he had kids, and then it was Father's Day shortly after that. So that's what I do now. And I was like, I know, I thought it was cute. And then...
Now, why would you say that's what I do now for Father's Day? She's only been seeing him 6 weeks. Like that makes out that that's like habit or something. That's what I do now. It's 6 weeks. You've only seen one Father's Day with him. So that to me was quite sus as well. There's just no way this is a six weeks thing, and I don't think it's a 6 month thing neither. I think it's a lot longer. So on the day of the murders, nobody really knows for definite what time she got in work, if she got in work. I mean, they know that she clocked out. She could have easily nipped in and signed out, clocked out, whichever she does. But I thought it was interesting as well. It's as though her daddy, was trying to pull her out there by saying, didn't Jim come that day? Wasn't you with Jim? Now, I don't think she wanted him to have said that. So he thinks he's covering for where she was that day. But she wants to try and make out that she was in work. Otherwise, she wouldn't have done the signing out at about 3 o'clock, I believe it was. I don't think she was happy with her dad there, where he felt he was giving her an alibi. I mean, she might not have seen Jim at all that day, but I think, my opinion is that Dwayne thinks, use Jim, he was with Jim all day. And not only that, she jumped on that really quick. So, best of both worlds. She was saying, he's got a key to my flat. I've just got visions there of NK thinking, shut up, I was supposed to be in work. So either NK and her daddy got the wires crossed a little bit there with what they was going to say, or he's ad-libbing, thinking he's helping her out. What do you reckon? Something I think her dad does as well, Dwayne Kessinger. Obviously, we know he's trying to carry her in these interviews. I think like he can see the way that she's behaving, which is like nonchalant, really couldn't give a shit about anything. I think he's obviously aware how bad this looks. At one stage, he says to her, are you okay? And it's like, you know, gee up a bit. Really, she should be sat in there, up bolt, or skidded in sideways through the phone and give him everything. But instead, she's sat back. I think she's zoned out at times. The other thing as well that she does, she tries to make out that Chris is like not right since he's been on these patches. I think there's a lot more to that. And no, I don't think Chris is right, to be honest. I don't think he I believe, totally looks at parts like he's on something. I don't know whether she thinks that something's going to be picked up somewhere along the line. But she does make out, oh, you know, at one stage he was wearing like 3 patches. So, I mean, considering these patches aren't supposed to be that good anyway, I don't know. I've not looked at what's in them, to be fair. I've heard that a lot of people have said there's not that much in them. Although this seems to have worked for Chris with his weight loss. So she's making out that these patches are making him behave in other ways. And I don't think it's the patches that are making him behave in other ways. I'm not saying that he's clean and he's not taking anything. And I'm not saying NK is clean neither and not taking anything. Because, to be fair, I don't think she acts normal. I think she acts like, in my opinion, I think she looks like she's taken something. Now, that could have been a sleeping tablet the night before for all we know. We don't know, do we? What do you reckon? She's just too zoned out for me. Now, I did say last time that, no, I couldn't see her in these videos. I didn't think that she was at the house when the murders took place. And I'll tell you the other reason why I thought she wasn't as well. Because Chris did say that him and Shannon had slept together. So I did kind of think, I couldn't really see that happening with NK there, although you never know. So that was another reason that I thought she'd met him outside or at survey. So yeah. Now I did say, didn't I, that I couldn't see her on them videos. So I have spent nearly all day looking at these videos, going through bit by bit that other YouTubers have put on, which honestly the work that they've put in is fantastic. Yeah, I can see the lights flash. Obviously you can see, not obviously, I shouldn't say it's obviously, but I kind of thought that I did see like a little toddler's shadow. So I'm not sure. Also, what Betty the neighbour saw, and I'm loading her video up. So I do know that 6:16 call in the morning, that was to Jim, but she still didn't call Chris, so that doesn't add up. Now, I know that Jim and Chris know of each other, but do they actually know each other? I know we can presume, but have we actually got proof that they ever been seen together, spoken together? Yeah, I can't seem to get that information for definite. They don't appear to be jealous of each other. Now, I have read as well in a few places that a father was in, or is in, the Freemasons. So it appears that maybe that's where she's getting the flack from. That's where she's got the backup. And I believe that NK is in touch with Chris's parents, or was, right after everything that had happened. Considering she wanted it out and everything, I find that very, very strange. I've read that they believe it's because she can keep him under her spell like that, keeping his mouth shut by befriending his parents, them going in saying Nichole loves you still. That keeps his gob shut. That kind of adds up, doesn't it? Everybody's got, you know, she's got them all wrapped around her finger. If that's the case, if that is the case, she doesn't need to write to Chris Watts, does she? All she has to do is give his parents a message and they'll go in there. This with the investigators as well. This to me is not normal. How can it be normal to text an investigator the early hours of the morning? They do ask her in the interview, is there anything else, you know, that we can do, that you need help with? And she says, because she'd been talking about the media, which all that I mentioned in the other video, she says, yeah, with my employer. You know, I'm giving you nothing, but you go to my employers and make sure that my job's okay. She's unbelievable, this girl. I just don't believe her at all. When they're talking about that with regards to media as well, Dwayne says, yeah, you know, like lie low for a few weeks. And NK says a few years. And I thought, you're dreaming, aren't you? A few decades, maybe. I just thought, like, what's going on in Dwayne's head? A few weeks. 4 people have been murdered. And he's saying, yeah, just lie low for a few weeks. I mean, it sounds to me that, listening to that, it's as though that they really do believe that they've had everybody over. Listen, say she wasn't even involved at all. She still went in there and didn't throw a phone at them. Just for that alone, I think that that's a crime. I really do. I think something should have happened to her for that. Withholding information, being obstructive. She should have had the media at her door just for that alone. Just going back as well to the other video, when we was talking about having Dwayne in the interview room, and I did play some of that other interview with the babysitter. It's only afterwards that I was listening to it again and I realised that Kobach says to the babysitter, and your father's name is Jeremy, is that right? And she says, yes. And he says, and Jeremy knows that you're speaking to me today. And she says, yes. So even she, a young girl, what was she? Was she about 14 or something? Even she didn't have a father with her. I think I'm just guessing that she was 14. She might have been a couple of years older, but she certainly wasn't the same age as NK. And as I mentioned, he was very direct with her. And she obviously had nobody in that room, when really I think she should have done being a young girl. Now, I know some people think that they don't think that NK was involved because of all the mistakes, and that if she'd been involved, there wouldn't have been any mistakes. I don't think that, you see, because with the shallow grave and Shanann only being buried like 8 inches, and I think that they was going to go back and finish all that, clean that all up on the Monday night. He was probably going to report Shanann missing on the Monday night. I don't think NK is smart at all. I think my opinion is, I think she's hard-faced, and there's a massive difference. Because even on her first interview in the park, I believe Dwayne was with her, even though he doesn't speak very much. Oh, listen to me going on about Dwayne again, I'm obsessed with him. But he just seems to be a massive part in this, which he would be, being a father, for anybody I should imagine. If her dad wasn't who he was, and she'd have just gone into an ordinary investigation, I think they would have just took that phone off her. That would have played out very different. I think she would have been on trial. Definitely. None of us have really seen investigations like that ever before. I mean, sometimes it feels as though they're helping her. So it's all strange anyway. So yeah, I don't think she's smart at all. I just think it's who she knows and she expects. When you're expecting an investigator to go and sort your job out for you, and you're texting them at 2 a.m. or something in the morning, not once, but a couple of times, then yeah, that's not how it works. Now, another thing that struck me with this case is the amount of photographs that she deleted. I said last time it was in hundreds, I believe it was in the thousands. I just wonder as well whether she had something on Chris. Tommy Lee had done that polygraph on him afterwards. He was saying different things. I think I touched on it on the other one. I don't think he knows exactly what happened with the kids. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it was him. It's also possible that Chris was on something. His personality looks really different than when he was with Shanann. He looks totally different. Also, after he confessed, he was actually saying that he had no remorse. I mean, that's not normal. And I don't think Chris was acting normal. And I don't think he'd been acting normal, possibly, for a long time. I mean, didn't Shanann say, I don't know him anymore? Obviously, when people say that, if they're in a relationship and one's going off in a different direction and they can't work it out and they say, I don't know him anymore. But she did sort of say, I don't know who he is anymore, now. And she did actually say that she was, at one stage, that she felt frightened of him. Now, come on. Shanann was a strong woman. She knew how to handle Chris. There was something in Shanann. She was scared. So Chris must have been acting really abnormal for her to say that. Otherwise, I think she would have just sat him down and said, right, what's going on? And I wonder as well, is that why she went away with the kids as well? Just going back to Chris as well at that confession, he did say to his dad, she wasn't supposed to be here. Now, obviously, it wasn't Shanann that he was talking about, because he was expecting Shanann. And I know that a lot of people do believe that NK was at the house out waiting for Shanann, or that she was in the basement. Yeah, and then when the questions came after him saying that, then he was changing his story. It's as though they didn't get the story straight, and it's as though he didn't know what to do. That's why I think as well that the sheet was on the ground at Survey as well, that because they was going to go back that night and clean everywhere up. And didn't they say that when they went in the house as well, it stunk of cleaning stuff? Yeah, so I wonder whether NK got Chris to experiment sexually with something that he hadn't done before. Or maybe he was bisexual. I don't know. With the thousands of photographs, like I said, I wondered whether she had something on him, like they'd been involved in a threesome. I mean, she did look up, double penetration. Now, when she was researching anal sex, was that for her? Or was that something she was coaxing Chris into? I don't know. I mean, Chris might have been bisexual. That doesn't matter. But I don't think he was. I think he did things to please her. And I think during them times that he probably took something to get high or whatever. I don't know. This is just my thoughts on it. And I think that she had quite a lot of photographs on him. I think she had quite a lot of shit on him. And this is why he's took the blame. Does he think by telling his parents that, or his parents finding out about that, that's going to be like the end of the world? I definitely think she was introducing him to things. I mean, wasn't the campsite where they went, wasn't that a nudist campsite? See, don't forget, Chris had been going through family life, honky-dory, just the things we know about. Her telling him to get on and work out his marriage, and then sending him something like 100 pics of herself nude. Yeah, that doesn't add up. But I do definitely think that she introduced him to something that he was ashamed of, something that he can't speak about, and I'm not so sure. Yeah, do you know what I was thinking at one stage? Because I think she's into all sorts of spiritual things, should we call it. And I wondered if he'd been kind of hypnotised in some way. I know he said something like that, but I don't mean it like that. But do you remember years ago, it used to always be on TV about when people was getting hypnotised, and they used to always make sure that they took them out of it afterwards, otherwise it could be dangerous. And I just wondered whether she was into things like that. I just can't call this one, but I think she definitely had some kind of hold on him. Yeah, with the Trent Bolt guy, I think he was just thrown in the mix. I'm not convinced with that. Basically because he's got connections with NK, and for the first time in her life, she wouldn't have wanted the limelight at that time. She wanted to get on with her life. So I think, and I've read as well, that a lot of people just believe that she got him to throw himself right in the middle of the mix, take the limelight off herself, and yeah, just make her look more as much of a victim as Trent was. I'm not saying that Trent hasn't ever met Chris. He might have met Chris while he was with NK. He might have been part of their threesome. She's asked him to go forward and just say that you had an affair with him. Just on the Jim thing as well, Jim isn't mentioned in the discovery documents at all, other than to say they'd asked NK for his information and she didn't want to give it. End of. No Jim anymore. Yes, I don't really understand why Kobach asked, will you give us that information, rather than just term it, can we have his details, and get somebody to call him while she was in there. They didn't want to catch her out. I've said all this before. They didn't want to catch her out. Another thing as well that I thought was really strange, when they did the polygraph and they was asking him questions afterwards, the way that he was moving around with regards his story around with regards Bella and Cece, and there was quite a few different explanations. I don't understand why they didn't give him a polygraph again and ask what happened to the children. I mean, not too late now, is it? So I'm loading a video up of the interview with Betty the neighbour. Don't know what it is about the name Betty, but you always trust Betty's, don't you? They just seem dead reliable. I used to have an Auntie Betty. Could rely on her for anything. But anyway, this Betty, the neighbour, she sees that there was a truck there, 5:15. She gives a lot of information. Absolutely remarkable that the things that she picks up on when she goes to the gym every morning at 5:15. Yeah, and Betty says, that she hadn't seen the children for about 4 or 6 weeks, which she got that spot on as well. When NK as well, one of the last interviews more or less tells Kobach that a job's gone, it's done with, and she's gonna go away sort of thing. That she says, yeah, no job and that, I'm gonna sell my truck. I mean, she sold that fast. Is that the first thing you think about? Because Kobach says to her as well, you're going to look for another job. And she more or less makes out that that's not that important at the moment. So why would she be selling a truck? She obviously doesn't need the readies. And her dad's going to look after her anyway. I'm not saying he's loaded, but, he's going to make sure that she's got food in her mouth. So why does she need to sell a truck? But she did. So yeah, she didn't change her name until 2020. So I find that quite odd, considering that she went into hiding. So, I mean, I kept wondering, why didn't she change her name straight away? Yeah, I think that she thought this was, she was going to put it on a back burner and it would all go away. And then she would come out of the woodwork in a couple of years and she'd make a fortune on it with a book, obviously, because of all the research that she'd done. And why else sit back for a couple of years before you change your name? Why don't you just change your name straight away? She got rid of her truck. So she was just going to lie low until we all forgot, throw somebody else into the mix, i.e. Trent Bolt, whatever he's called. Because I honestly don't think, I'm not even saying that he's not slept with Chris, but in my opinion, it's not as he's making out that they had this one-to-one affair. There's some connection with NK, so I think that might have been a threesome or whatever. And I think these were little tactics that she was trying first, so to see if she could dilute her name down a little bit and then do a book. But nobody's buying it. It's not working. And the other thing is, I don't know if she's still got connections with his parents. But if she has, I don't know what it's going to take for him to open his mouth. I know this sounds awful, but I don't think he'll do it while his parents are alive. Because I think he's got too much to divulge and I don't think he wants them to hear it. And I know that some people, have made have said we're sort of lynching NK. No, not at all. I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand her. And because we can't understand her, and because a lot of her actions and her movements, her suggestions, her investigation was all very iffy, we're just not buying it. That's the point. Like I said, when she found out about them murders, you would have, I think most people would have been hysterical and said, I've been sleeping with a murderer and blah blah blah, and she wasn't. She was sat back on her shackles. That's not a lynch mob. That's just people not understanding that there's something very, very wrong there. People just want answers. They're not getting them. And the investigators never asked. Everybody else is asking, and they're not going to stop asking. It's always going to be there. Jim never ran into the police station, did he, and say, I believe you wanted my information. I know she didn't want to give it and she wanted to keep me out of it, but by all means, here's my phone. Charlotte's just trying to, not bothered about giving information or anything, but she involves Charlotte by putting her on the spot and getting her to delete messages. I'm just going to go around there and make her delete stuff. So it doesn't stack up, NK. It just doesn't. Another thing that happened as well. Do you remember I don't know if anybody's, well, of course you'll know about this. She was saying on the night of the murders, he FaceTimed her, or she FaceTimed him, Chris. And he didn't say any much. He didn't say very much. He was just staring at her. Like, she thought it was strange. And I thought, no, he's staring at her because he knows what they've done, or he knows what he's done for her. And he's trying to psych her out, and she's just probably acting normal like she does, which isn't normal. So I've no doubt by now, NK looks totally different. I don't think possibly any of us would recognise her. I mean, she could be on YouTube doing what we're doing, you don't know. She could be anywhere. I still think people like Jim will have contact with her, because I think Jim possibly knows quite a lot. So I'm hoping the fact that she's changed her name now means that she can't write a book in her name. Although I think you can't you? Let me know on that one. Oh, please, I hope not. I hope we haven't got to do this. And I still hope. I don't think she could be that hard-faced as to write a book. Surely. She's probably writing it now, just waiting for it to go quiet. And that's why it's important that it doesn't go quiet. It never goes quiet. Right, guys, I'm going to sign off. So, as I've mentioned, that Betty video will be loaded. Also, I've done the interviews as well, so I'll be loading them up in the next couple of days. So, yeah, so if you've not checked out that first video of Unveiling NK, please go and check it out in between, and give us a like here, subscribe, and come back. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.